Hello everybody, my name is Chantal Amador. I'm the founder of the EA Project, a event company, a virtual and hybrid event company promoting social causes, especially climate action. This company was founded in February during the pandemic, and I was inspired by the lack of technology in the event industry, and also the complete opposite in the gaming industry, where technologies are very impressive, especially in 3D immersive worlds and entertainment in general. Today I'm going to talk to you about what is the EA project more in details, the Circular Society Network I created, and also the Sustainable Matchmaker, the podcast channel. Thank you for listening this first episode. I hope you will enjoy it, but if you have any recommendations, I am all ears. So, let's start. The EA project. So, what is it? EA stands for Events for Action, and yes, I produce events, but not only. During the pandemic, I was happy to see how the event industry was reinventing itself and finally accelerating its digital transformation. And I just had a look at all the touch points, attendees, sponsors, every stakeholder in an event would experience. And on the other side, I had a look at all the technologies that are already in place and those that were in development during the pandemic. So a lot has been going on this past 18 months. And I just saw that the potential of having such a bigger impact and a bigger international reach using these technologies was real. It was huge, and I wanted this new power to serve a great cause. So obviously there are a lot of social causes out there that could use this new way of producing events by engaging people pre at post events using all these technologies. But right now I believe climate action is our first priority if we want to live in good conditions in the next years. So I'm focusing on this right now. And what I noticed is that climate change isn't the sexiest topic, and myself, I wasn't very much aware about the situation. I didn't think it was my job to get involved, and one day I just joined this big construction group, and they were developing this sustainable company called Elan, and they hired me to promote their new services around sustainable construction and engineering. So very serious topics, but they wanted something a little bit more user oriented, may I say. And so I couldn't produce like these shows I used to produce 13 years ago. I had to adapt. And they were developing internally these co-design trainings. So I organized workshops using these methods instead. So it was quite cool. I learned a lot, but I still wasn't as free as I could be, and as I was when I first started producing events. So when I first started producing events, that was like, yeah, as I said, 13 years ago. And I had this mentor from Ibiza who told me, he was pushing me to think bigger and bigger every single time, and really pushed my limits until that one day where I literally hired an incredible artist who was he was a jungler, but a special one. Like, he was jungling with fireworks indoors. Yeah. Kind of crazy, right? All the safety measures were taken, and it was quite an incredible experience. And what I noticed with the entertainment industry is that people don't care about backgrounds, even if sometimes you have like these VIP areas for elites, let's say it that way. But on the other side, all the other people really just gather, dance with each other, and even the VIPs sometimes could, mix with the other people in the room, and just don't care what's your background, your education, or whatever. So on the other side, in this in the corporate world, I've seen some education gaps, and if I hadn't joined that company, that construction group I mentioned, I never would have gained awareness about sustainability and the climate crisis, and I wouldn't be here today talking to you. So yeah, there's really something to do here to fill that gap, create a bridge between professionals and the public, and I believe entertainment is the right way to go. I also believe that there's a big issue between professionals themselves. We are all working on reinventing ourselves, but we aren't mixing so much. I see a lot of events for silos, which is great. I believe they have, their own purpose, and webinar formats are great in some particular cases, but I believe something different needs to be created today, a place where we can think in a more circular way and involve different sectors, different industries around the same table to reinvent our society. And the event industry needs to take responsibility into doing this too, because we gather people. We are the organizers, the producers of these shows, events, or webinars. So yeah, this is basically why I created the EA project. Very quickly, I noticed that something was missing to the EA project, because I can't see this happening without a big community. And yeah, I could just start producing events and see how it would go, but I really believe this isn't how businesses should evolve. I believe we need to be community leaders before business leaders, and I created the Circular Society Network to do so. So how does that work? Basically, there are 4 topics for human activities that really emit a lot of CO2 in our atmosphere. So this includes construction, agriculture, industry, transportation. So these are the main topics, the main activities we will be focusing on. But it includes everybody, even if you don't work in these particular industries. You work in sectors that are more or less related to these activities. So it could be like finance, for example. Investors play an important part. Governance, education, organizations, non-profit, biodiversity specialists, they have their words too. We need to involve them in these discussions. Startups, innovative startups, tech companies, manufacturers, supply chain specialists, and so on. There's really a lot of people. Of course, I didn't mention them, but energy is one of the 4 or 5, may I say, pillars of the EA project, because it just makes sense. It's at the beginning of everything. Without energy, we can't do any of these 4 human activities. And retail. We need retailers because they have a big influence too. So these main activities specialists are going to collaborate together. They create different circles, and this is the Circular Society Network, a place for professionals to talk about their struggles, ask any questions they could have direct feedback from other members. Today we are 70 members around the world, I think in 14 or 15 countries, all continents, I guess. We have leaders, influencers, and also students. These people are going to be matched together during networking events. They are going to be capped networking events. I don't want people to lose their time going to an event with too many people, not having time to really engage with the people they are matched with. So when I contacted them, I asked them, what do you need? What are you struggling with? And do you have any expertise you would like to share with people to support any initiative in our transformation? And are you yourself developing a circular solution or a sustainable solution that needs help? It could be like funding, just any feedback, tech partnerships, anything. And depending on their response, I gathered all these information in my database, and on a regular basis I'm going to match them in a small group of maybe 20 people in a virtual environment that I hope will be entertaining, and they are going to connect and see if they complement each other and if one can help the other, and so on. So this is one side of the Circular Society Network. The other side of it, we are going to open the Circular Society Network to other people, to the public. And to make that happen, we are going to have these same events, probably with like an open table for non-members, and also use Twitch, for example, as I am using right now, the podcast channel, the Sustainable Matchmaker, that you can find on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, all the main, all your favorite podcast channels. And Discord, we are going to have our own private Discord, but that is still on the private side. But the main goal on long term is to attract sponsors, because without sponsors we can't do anything. I can't remain independent. I can't produce everything on my own. And with these sponsors we will be able to produce hybrid events, and that would take place in person in a studio here in London, with shows like I used to do in the past, to attract the public this time, in studio and online. So the show would be recorded during an entire day. There would be maybe 4 to 5 big events all along the year, recorded and then broadcasted to the rest of the world in short sequences. We will have the speakers come back live so they can have this live interaction and ask questions directly. And I believe that is going to be very constructive for everybody. The public will be able to give their voice, they will be involved in these discussions, and we will have these study cases to work on concretely. So yeah, that is very exciting, and I hope we will be able to go to that point. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the Sustainable Matchmaker, the podcast itself. So the podcast is, as I said, going to be recorded here on Twitch TV channel, and the concept is that 2 of our Circular Society advocates are going to be chosen by me, pre-selected, and they are going to enter this virtual environment where they are going to meet each other without knowing each other. They won't have received any introduction first. They are just going to meet somebody and have 20 minutes to guess why I matched them together. So it's going to be full of surprises. They're going to have 20 minutes to guess why I matched them together. And will it be a match? Will it not be a match? Nobody knows in advance. And I guess I'm going to get better at matching people together as I get to know more and more my members on the long term. But in any cases, the only guarantee is that it's going to enable very interesting topics, discussions, and it's going to be full of surprises, definitely. The environment is going to be quite similar as our virtual coffee shop. So this is another tool for the Circular Society Network, but it's for everybody. I just opened this the first virtual coffee shop for climate action online. So there is different rooms, sometimes hidden rooms. I organize challenges from time to time, and there are interactive objects. So basically you can interact with a virtual computer in a computer, play poker with like-minded people, interact with documents, content about our study cases in exclusivity before our events. So yeah, it's going to be quite fun. And this virtual coffee shop is another way to reach a larger audience too, get people involved. We have a Facebook group too, a LinkedIn private group. Our website is going to have more and more room for articles that will be written by our members, by myself, and it's going to be a community tool. So that is going to be pretty fun. I think this is all for now for this first episode. If you have any questions, if you would like to be part of what I call the green social revolution, this new incredible era focused on solutions, follow the EA project. So all our socials are available at the EA project, all attached, and you can also follow the website directly. There's a link to subscribe to our blog, so you can go on the-eaproject.com. Follow us also on our podcast channel. They will be available in, I guess, 1 to 2 days after this streaming, because it's the first episode. And I'll be looking forward to our second episode, which this time is going to involve our members in the first Sustainable Matchmaker proper matchmaking episode. So that is pretty exciting. I'm going to look forward to it. Thank you for listening to me, and please leave me any of your thoughts in the comments, or use the hashtag #TheSustainableMatchmaker on Twitter. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.